The multi-million-dollar contract with the streaming giant was supposed to be the Sussexes' shield, their declaration of independence, and the engine of their new Hollywood empire. But according to high-level industry sources, that partnership has just hit a concrete wall, forcing Meghan Markle to break a strategic, carefully maintained silence. The main event is clear. Netflix reportedly blocked one of her key passion-driven projects, a documentary series focusing on female leadership and humanitarian narratives that was central to her carefully curated public identity. The sudden, unyielding blockade by the very platform that invested a reported £93 million into the couple's vision has exposed a major power struggle, proving that in Hollywood, cash alone does not buy creative control. Insiders close to the production claim the project was abruptly stalled after months of development, significant investment, and collaboration, not due to minor budgetary concerns, but due to an intractable disagreement over editorial direction and content control. Sources suggest that Netflix executives, exercising a ruthless contractual right, deemed the series too niche, self-referential, or critically, lacking the necessary commercial appeal and dramatic tension to justify its colossal cost. For Meghan, who meticulously manages her public image and narrative, this reported block was far more than a professional disappointment. It was, according to those aware of her reaction, a direct challenge to her perceived creative value and her ability to deliver on the promise of the massive deal. Following the initial reports, the deafening official silence from the Sussex camp immediately fueled speculation. Critics pounced on the vacuum, suggesting the block was indisputable proof that the Duke and Duchess were struggling to meet the high and brutal demands of Hollywood's creative machine, or that their post-royal celebrity appeal was rapidly diminishing into irrelevance. This narrative pressure, according to analysts, is precisely what forced Meghan's eventual, calculated move. She understood that allowing the silence to continue would solidify the narrative of failure, a permanent professional label she could not afford to accept. Meghan's decision to finally break silence was therefore a strategic masterpiece of public relations, designed not merely to address the rumors, but to subtly shift the entire power dynamic. Her statement, delivered not through a formal, defensive press release, but allegedly through a trusted, high-profile media contact during a carefully orchestrated public appearance, conspicuously avoided directly confirming the block. Instead, she focused entirely on the uncompromising integrity of her creative vision and her refusal to sacrifice authenticity for commercial demands. While she never explicitly named Netflix or the halted project, the timing and the careful phrasing, particularly her emphasis on maintaining the core message, regardless of external pressure, left zero doubt about the subject matter. This calculated break of silence instantly reframed the narrative. It transformed the story from Netflix blocks Meghan's project due to poor quality to Meghan stands firm on creative integrity against a commercialized network. It was a classic, effective move designed to recast a significant professional setback as a moral and principled victory, a suggestion that the project was not blocked because it was flawed, but because it was too genuine or too real for the streaming giant's ruthless commercial sensibilities. The alleged context of her public statement shows Meghan expertly reclaiming control over her own public narrative, turning a moment of extreme professional vulnerability into a strategic declaration of creative independence. The profound implications for the Sussexes' remaining time under their contract cannot be overstated. Netflix, a company notoriously sensitive about publicly airing internal creative disputes, now finds itself in an incredibly delicate balancing act. They desperately require the unique star power and global attention the Duke and Duchess provide, Yet they must also rigorously maintain the perception that they are tough, non-negotiable editors, ensuring quality control over their colossal content budget. Meghan's public, principled stance, subtle as it may be, immediately puts the streaming network on notice. Future creative rejections or demands for revisions will not be accepted silently. This incident has, according to Hollywood analysts, fundamentally changed the nature of their multi-year partnership, transitioning it from a seemingly friendly, symbiotic alliance to a much more contentious, rigorous, and potentially conflict-ridden business relationship built upon aggressive boundary negotiation. The pressure is now squarely and publicly on the streaming giant to either approve a similar passion project immediately or risk the severe public perception that they are actively censoring one of the world's most high-profile female voices simply for commercial expediency. The reported blocking of Meghan Markle's project by Netflix is viewed by Hollywood insiders as a brutal, yet predictable, collision with the cold realities of the entertainment industry. The initial euphoria surrounding the Sussexes' massive deal, a contract signed largely on the promise of their global names and access, has worn off. Now, the network is demanding tangible, commercially viable content that meets the high bar set by their competitors. Sources suggest that the initial pitch, focusing on female leaders and humanitarian themes, while aligned with Meghan's personal mission, failed the rigorous test of binge-worthiness, the core metric that drives streaming profitability. The underlying tension in the Netflix-Sussex partnership stems from the huge disparity between the couple's perceived value based on royal history and global celebrity, and their proven output measured by audience data and critical acclaim. Netflix, operating under immense pressure to justify massive expenditures, cannot afford to greenlight every project simply because it comes from a duke and duchess. The reported block, according to media analysts, signals a decisive shift by the network's leadership. They are moving away from honoring the contract based on fame and moving toward judging the content purely on its commercial merit. This development is deeply problematic for the Sussex brand, which relies on the perception of continued, unchallenged value. Insiders claim the incident has created a deep sense of professional vulnerability within the Sussex camp. They are now facing the painful realization that their royal titles, which guaranteed them attention and a massive initial contract, do not guarantee them creative autonomy or protection from the network's final say. The source of the conflict, according to reports, lay in Meghan's desire for a project that was authentic and controlled entirely by her vision, colliding head-on with Netflix's requirement for a production that features more drama, more personal insight, and greater commercial hook. Elements they believe are necessary to attract the massive viewership required to justify the nine-figure deal. The network needs the audience to see more of the Duchess and less of the humanitarian CEO. The alleged public statement made by Meghan, emphasizing uncompromising integrity, in the wake of the blocking reports, serves as a crucial tactical response, but one that carries significant risk. By framing the conflict as a moral battle between authenticity and commercialism, she has positioned herself as the principled artist against the corporate machine. While this narrative plays well with her core audience, it simultaneously pressures Netflix to either retract its decision or face the backlash that comes with censoring a prominent voice. However, this tactic also signals internal discord, a dangerous situation for any long-term business partner. Hollywood executives typically prefer smooth operations and silent compromises, not public posturing that forces their hand. Sources suggest that the network's patience has been further tested by the relatively slow pace of content delivery from the Sussexes since the signing of the massive deal. With only a few major releases in the years following the contract, the blocked project compounds the pressure on both sides to demonstrate tangible return on investment. The network needs a hit and the Sussexes need to prove their worth beyond the documentaries focusing heavily on their own narrative. The professional tension now affects Prince Harry as well. While his focus has often been on his own projects, the unified nature of their production company means that Meghan's creative setbacks reflect directly on the collective brand. Insiders claim that the couple is now facing difficult internal discussions about whether they can truly deliver on the required commercial scale while maintaining their fiercely guarded standards of privacy and creative control. The core issue remains unresolved. The public, and by extension Netflix, wants the behind-the-scenes access and the drama that comes with their unique royal status, precisely what the couple is least willing to give up. The reported block is simply the network's official way of saying, "We are no longer buying the promise, we are demanding the product." The incident serves as a crucial case study in the dynamics of celebrity migration from royalty to Hollywood. The transition required the Sussexes to trade the rigid, but predictable, rules of the monarchy for the ruthless, unpredictable metrics of the streaming world. In the palace, titles bought prestige. In Hollywood, only guaranteed hits by creative freedom. The reported blocking of Meghan's project is a painful lesson that the Queen of England and the CEO of a major streaming platform operate under fundamentally different and equally unyielding laws of power. The reported blocking of Meghan's project, followed by her carefully worded public statement emphasizing uncompromising integrity, has unleashed a cascade of long-term ramifications that extend far beyond the Netflix boardroom. The immediate fallout involves the complex renegotiation of public perception. For years, the Sussexes have framed their departure from the monarchy as a brave step toward authentic, service-driven work. The reports of the block, however, threaten to recast this narrative, framing their move not as a quest for authenticity, but as a commercial failure to deliver content that meets the market's high demands. Meghan's decision to speak out, therefore, is the first shot in a crucial public perception battle designed to preserve the moral high ground and protect the long-term viability of their brand. Sources within the financial and legal sectors of Hollywood suggest that the incident will have a significant chilling effect on the valuation of future Sussex projects. Other major streaming platforms and publishers will now approach the couple with much greater caution, armed with the knowledge that Netflix, the initial willing investor, is already exercising stringent quality control and veto power. This lack of creative autonomy is a powerful signal to the industry. The Sussex brand, while globally famous, is not guaranteed to generate profitable content, and any investment will require ironclad contractual control over the final product. The nine-figure deal, once seen as an unassailable financial shield, now appears to be a heavy burden requiring constant, commercially successful output. The incident also directly impacts Prince Harry's image and his role within their joint production company. While Meghan is the one reportedly steering the creative vision, any perceived failure reflects on Harry's executive judgment and the couple's collective ability to transition successfully into powerful producers. Insiders claim that the public dispute, even if subtly veiled, will intensify internal pressure on Harry to expedite the release of his own projects and secure unequivocal commercial hits to stabilize their brand image. The time for humanitarian passion projects, the network seems to be saying, is over. The time for verifiable commercial success is now. The long-term threat for the partnership lies in the inevitable choice the Sussexes face: compromise or collapse. They are fundamentally contracted to deliver high-demand, high-engagement content, yet their greatest asset, the behind-the-scenes drama of their royal lives, is precisely what they are most desperate to protect. Netflix's blocking of the project is effectively a non-verbal ultimatum: deliver content that is compelling and revealing, or face the slow, professional death of project rejections and non-renewal. Hollywood observers believe this leaves the couple with two agonizing options. Either they must severely loosen their grip on privacy, allowing cameras into their actual personal lives to create the binge-worthy drama the network craves, or they must accept a future where their creative projects are continually rejected, leading to the inevitable expiry of the initial massive contract. Meghan's insistence on uncompromising integrity, while rhetorically powerful, is a dangerous stance in a market built on compromise. It risks positioning the Sussexes as difficult, high-maintenance partners who prioritize their personal narrative over commercial returns. For a streaming giant dealing with hundreds of producers, such a reputation can be fatal, leading to professional isolation and fewer opportunities in the future. The episode reveals the stark difference between the monarchy's rules and Hollywood's rules. The monarchy demands silence to maintain power. Hollywood demands submission to maintain profitability. Ultimately, the reported block serves as a powerful symbol of the painful and ongoing struggle the Duke and Duchess face in reconciling their royal status, their desire for privacy, and their need for financial independence. The throne they abdicated was one of ceremonial power. The throne they seek in Hollywood is one of algorithmic control. The reports claiming that Netflix blocked her project, followed by Meghan's defiant public response, signals that their journey to creative independence is less of a fairy tale and more of a brutal, high-stakes corporate negotiation where the royal title is merely the opening bid, and genuine creative control must be earned through unrelenting commercial victory. The question is no longer whether they can secure a deal, but whether they can survive the demands of that deal.